Know It All listeners, thanks for joining me for another edition of the Know It All podcast. I'm the homie Tate. We appreciate you checking out our content, listening to us. If you like what you hear, be sure to like and subscribe. We got different content, different postings all the time. We talk about sports, we talk about culture, we talk about a little bit of politics, we talk about a little bit of everything. So today, on this Tate, what I'm going to talk about is my top 5 sports movies of all time. And I think everybody probably has a different list, but keep in mind, this is my top 5. So that's what we're going to talk about. So, in no particular order, just my top 5 sports movies of all time for me. So this is my list of top 10 movies. This is why I'm going to give it to you. Number 1, not like I said, no particular order. Number 1, I'm going to give you Remember the Titans. Classic. Walt Disney movie. Denzel Washington plays Coach Herman Boone, based off a true story. I live out here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I actually went to I used to work with a guy that played for Herman Boone. He wasn't old enough to play on that team that won the championship, I believe, in 1971, but he played in like the 80s, early to mid 80s. He played for Herman Boone. And just that it was high school. It was a great movie. Lots of value in that movie, like more moral value. Just
no, I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
How to get along, the concept of being a team and togetherness. You had the scene where Herman Boone, Denzel Washington, called him Jerry because he said he was making demands when they were ready to go away to camp, ready to get on the bus. And he said that he starts and all my guys play defense and you worry about the offense. And Denzel Washington's character Herman Boone said, "Oh, well, you must be a comedian. You must be an entertainer. This is Jerry Lewis." And he called the other guy Dean Martin. And he clapped and, in front of everybody's parents and stuff like that. But I think that was a integral part. It let not only those two players know, but it let the team know that this was Denzel Washington's team and he was going to run it the way he saw fit, which was probably good because, he was going to be fired if he lost the game. So, it was good that he kind of took control, seized the moment. But my favorite part of that movie is when Ronnie, the backup quarterback, came in because Preach got hurt. Came in, the backup quarterback, Sunshine was his nickname. He came in. He told the guys not to worry. Said, "We're going to get this done." He came in, made a play. And the team said, "Man, did you see that? That's a bad white boy, man." And that was like my favorite part of that movie, man. Sunshine was really, really nice. But, so Remember the Titans, like I said, Walt Disney movie, great movie. If you haven't seen it, you are missing out. You need to check it out for yourself and watch it. And if you already watched it, since I brought it up, rewatch it. It's a great movie. You can't go wrong. Number 2 on my list, like I said, not necessarily in that order, but the number 2 movie in my top 5 list, Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights is about a Texas high school football team, Odessa Permian. They were a really good team. Their star player.
Booby, that's my nephew out there. The boy can play some football, I'm telling you.
I think it won the Heisman Trophy Sunday.
The Heisman, really?
Oh, yes, sir. You can bet on it.
Okay, who's your guy's favorite player?
He was a star running back. They had a great season though. They went on to the Texas State Championship in Texas, and in Texas, football is so important. I mean, you not from the Dallas Cowboys to the Texas Longhorn, Texas A&M Aggies, and high school football is huge in Texas. Those small towns and those places in Texas, and vast landscape, those towns are isolated on Friday night because everybody's at the football game. Everybody's at the local high school football game at the stadium. Hence the title of the movie, Friday Night Lights. Friday night is big. Like I said, they shut down Texas in most places on Friday night. So Odessa Permian ends up going to the state championship against a monster team, Dallas Carter, who had a lot of pro prospects on the team, a lot of Division I college prospects. One that comes to mind real quick, Jesse Armstead, was a linebacker, ended up going to the Miami Hurricanes, the U, would later be drafted by the Atlanta Falcons and then played for the New York Giants, had a great NFL career. It came down to the wire. I don't know if that was necessarily how it really went. You know, sometimes they embellish movies to make it really good. But Odessa Permian got down inside the red zone with like a few seconds left, and they just missed the end zone, so they lost the game. And Dallas Carter wins the championship. But that was definitely a great sports movie. Check it out if you've never seen it. It's a must watch. It's a must watch. And movie number 3 on my list is the movie Hoosiers. Hoosiers is a movie, 1986 movie, and many people consider it the best all-time sports movie ever made. It's definitely a sports classic. So it definitely has to be on this list. But it's about a small town Indiana basketball team, Hickory, the name of the town, name of the team, coached by Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman shows up in this small town, applies for the high school basketball head coaching job. And he gets it. Then later, some stuff starts to surface about he was fired from his previous job at Navy and somewhere in upstate New York for violence against players. He choked one of his players. So was released, resurfaces in small town Indiana, Hickory, gets the job. It was tough at first. They only had like 8 people on the team. Small school, very, very small school. Like I said, 8 people on the team. And their best player wasn't playing. He didn't want to play. A dude named Jimmy Chitwood. He didn't want to play. One of my favorite parts of the movie is where the town is restless. The school board is restless. They don't like the way Coach Norman Dale is Gene Hackman's character, the head coach. Coach Norman Dale is brought up before the school board to fire him. They wanted to get rid of him. I mean, with the rumors of his previous job and how he was left there, and they didn't like the way he was running things. It was really about because they didn't like the way he was running their program the way that they saw fit. They talked about it in the barbershop, in the small town restaurants and stuff. You know, you get a small town like that, everybody thinks they know best. So he's in the school board meeting, and they vote to fire him, to let him go. Well, Jimmy Chitwood comes up, the best player who wasn't playing, comes up and basically says, if coach is gone, I'm going. I'm not going to play. Giving the ultimatum that if coach is back, if coach is here, Coach Norman Dale's here, then I'm going to play. So it worked out. Jimmy Chitwood put his chest out there, and they said, okay, it was more important to have Jimmy than fire the coach. So they kept the coach. Jimmy plays. They make it to the state championship in Indiana. I believe this is like 1952-ish. I could be wrong, but somewhere in that early 1950s time frame. And they play a team from Indianapolis. And I believe one of the players, at least I've been told before, one of the players on that team was Oscar Robertson. Anyway, Hickory defeats this team in the championship like a true case of David beats Goliath. I mean, you got this small town Indiana town school with only 8 players, and they take on Goliath, the team from Indianapolis, probably number 1 in the state at the time. Really, really good team, and Hickory beats them and wins a mythical state championships that will live. I mean, they made a movie about it. So I mean, man, how great is that? In all these movies, you got high school. T.C. Williams wins the Virginia State Championship and number two team in the nation. You got Friday Night Lights. Odessa Permian makes it to the state championship against Dallas Carter. They lose, but they come close. And then in Hoosiers, you got Hickory making it to the championship against South Bend. And they won the championship. And now we'll go on to movie number 4. And you know, it's a sports movie. It's kind of a love movie also. I mean, it's really deep in black culture. Is Love and Basketball. I believe Love and Basketball was made in 2000, starring Omar Epps, Sanaa Lathan. It's a great movie. It's a coming of age movie about a young kid and a young lady, a young girl. They grow up in the same neighborhood. He plays basketball. She plays basketball. Omar Epps' character, Q, he goes on, was a great high school player, goes on to play at USC. He was the man. He was, high school All-American. He was this great player. Then you have Sanaa Lathan, his neighbor. They used to play basketball with each other when they were kids. They lived next door to each other. They were like best friends. And Sanaa Lathan also gets a scholarship to USC, but she wasn't as renowned a basketball player as Q was. Omar Epps' character, Quincy McCall is his name. She wasn't as renowned as him on the high school level. She actually got her scholarship because another player who had the scholarship got pregnant and couldn't go to school. So she was like a last minute recruit fill-in, but she got to go. And, so the stories change a little bit in college. Their paths change. Quincy McCall, Omar Epps' character, he decides to enter the NBA draft probably early against his father's advice. His father was an NBA player. You'll see in the beginning. His name was McCall. Obviously, his last name was McCall. I can't remember his first name. I don't want to tell you wrong. But he was an NBA player. And then Sanaa Lathan's character in college, she works hard. She practices. She does all the things she needs to do. And she becomes a really good player. So Monica's the Sanaa Lathan's character name. He's leaning on her a lot more. He wants her around a lot more because he can't do what he was doing, Now he wants her to be there for him at all times when she has her basketball career to think about and to try and pursue. And so he takes it as he breaks up with her because he feels like she's not there for him. So he kind of does her real bad. Long story short, he goes on to the NBA. Never has a really great career because, like I said, he left too early. He was hurt. So he never was as good as an NBA as what he was projected to be coming out of high school and things like that. Monica Wright was her name. Later, I'll tell you later. Monica Wright went on, finished at USC, went overseas to play basketball, women's professional basketball overseas. She was a really great player. She won a lot of championships in the European League and those leagues that she played in overseas. And then she came back. Basketball was over. She came back and she moved in back with her parents. Quincy McCall was at home visiting his parents. He had got engaged to a really pretty airline stewardess. Monica didn't know it. She came to the hospital to visit him because he hurt his knee again in the pro. So she came to the hospital to visit him, and she met his fiance, and she felt something, but she didn't act on it. And later, she talks to her mom, and her mom says, it's always been Quincy for you, but you just let him go. If you want him, you should go after him. So she gets up one night, knocks on his window. They used to have a thing where their rooms were, they lived next door to each other, so their rooms were right across from each other. But she climbed out her window and knocked on his window, wanted to talk to him, told him how she felt.
I'll play you.
What?
One game, one-on-one.
For what?
Your heart.
And he didn't think that was fair. Like, why you springing those to me now? You know, I'm getting married in a couple of days. And so she told him how she felt. He didn't really have any kind of feelings about it one way or the other. And they played one-on-one. And he kind of just he beat her like you figure a professional NBA player would probably beat a WNBA player. He didn't ease up on her. So she lost. Monica lost. She felt some kind of way. She was really sad and down. And then he told her, double or nothing. And then that let her know that you giving me another chance. Whether she won or lost, he wanted to be with her. So that's kind of how that movie goes. At the end, they have him, Quincy, sitting floor seat at the Forum at the time. Wasn't yet Staples. At the Los Angeles Forum at the LA Sparks game, holding a little baby girl. And they announced the LA Sparks starting lineup. Lisa Leslie and everybody else that played for the LA Sparks back then. And Monica McCall. Formerly Monica Wright, Monica McCall now, because she's married Quincy McCall. And they have a baby daughter, and it's just a really, really good movie. Kind of a sports movie and a love story. So check that out. Great movie. And last but not least, on my top 5 list is The Express. Ernie Davis movie. About the football player Ernie Davis, who played football at Syracuse right after Jim Brown. He was a running back right after Jim Brown. Ernie Davis was an All-American, a really great football player. He would later be drafted by the Cleveland Browns. Had a short career. Yeah. And I mean, The Express, I believe Chadwick Boseman's in that movie. It's a really good movie. Like I said, 1950s, Syracuse, New York, Cleveland Browns. Like I said, he came to Syracuse after Jim Brown. After him will be Floyd Little. Syracuse had a good run on running backs then. But back to the movie, it's just a really good movie. I mean, I believe Ernie Davis had a Heisman season. And he ended up passing away in 1963 for the Cleveland Browns. He never really got to play for the Browns, but he was there the same time as Jim Brown, who was his idol, which is why he went to Syracuse, because Jim Brown was at Syracuse. So he got to play with Jim Brown. And, you know, currently the Browns have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but their original best backfield ever is probably Ernie Davis and Jim Brown. I mean, so The Express is a great movie. That's a Disney movie also. I recommend that you check it out. And it wasn't cancer. He died of leukemia, which is a form of cancer. So yeah, but check out The Express movie. Great movie. Love that movie. And that's my top 5. And I got one more bonus movie for you. Just checked it out last night myself on Netflix. You can watch it now. I think it'll be a sports classic. Hustle with Adam Sandler, Queen Latifah, lots of ex and current NBA players. Kenny Smith, the Jet, plays a major role in that movie. You got a cameo for people like Dirk Nowitzki, Luka Doncic. You got Dr. J in the movie. He has a small prominent role. You got Doc Rivers in the movie. You got Trae Young. You got Anthony Edwards played a major character. Wills was his name, Willis, but he was the number 1 prospect coming out to the NBA draft. But yeah, Anthony Edwards is a really good player, and Kermit Wills was Anthony Edwards' character's name. Really good. And there was Bo Cruz. Yeah, Bo Cruz was the main character. Adam Sandler was a scout, and he's scouting overseas and stuff, and just finds this kid on the playground. This kid is a monster. Bo Cruz is. He brings him back. Adam Sandler was a scout for Philadelphia 76ers, let's say that. He brings him back to the States. The Sixers got a new owner. don't want nothing to do with him, hadn't heard enough about him. So Adam Sandler brings him in and puts him up, trains him, puts him up at a hotel, him and his wife, and they're trying to work towards the NBA scouting combine, and they make it, and dude kind of lets the American players get to him with their talkative nature and their trash talking and stuff like that. So he had to work on that, and eventually he gets his shot. He makes it into the NBA, and he doesn't. Adam Sandler gets an assistant coaching job with the 76ers, which is what he's been working for his whole career. And the kid gets drafted not by the 76ers, but the movie. I won't tell you how the movie ends, but check it out. It's a great movie. One of Adam Sandler's best movies, produced by LeBron James and Adam Sandler together. Great movie. I recommend it. It's on Netflix, so you can watch it. You can watch it till later today. If you see this and you want to watch it, check it out. Hustle on Netflix. Adam Sandler, LeBron James production. Great movie. But with that being said, those are all my favorite movies. I hope you guys enjoyed just the small bit of information, some of my perspectives and some of my takes on these movies. Chime in the live chat and let us know what your favorite sports movies are. Go ahead and give us a quick list, your top 5. We love to hear from you. But again, if you like the content, you like the information, be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out this is on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter and Instagram. Check out the know-it-alls. Be sure to, like I said, like and check us out in all those places. So thanks again for listening. And as always, see you next time. Peace.